Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Terrifying Tuesday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of info. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. Such as today, I give you your brief synopsis, your starring cast, director, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for where you can purchase this one. And then if you decide, you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of bucks. Now that I got all that said in mind and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is an interesting one. It comes from my dear friend Bill Cate. It is his latest release. It is called Babydoll, Torture, COVID, Gore Stories. What an interesting title for one. Interesting movie for two. It is 5 short stories, 6 if you count the one at the very tail end of the movie. I only wrote it down as 5, or I believe 5 is what I wrote down in the synopsis. But it's very fun. It's directed by Bill Cate, starring him in a couple of the segments. I'm going to go ahead and start off with what the first segment is. It's called S'mores. It runs at about 16 minutes. It's about basically a little girl doll being tortured. There's even like a really interesting scene where the girl is put in a bag, a plastic bag, and hung from a tree. And it was very reminiscent of a certain guinea pig film that we all know called Devil's Experiment. It was fun. I really liked that short. I think it's really cool. It had a really funny line in it where it said, "P.S. Don't tell Charlie Sheen." And if any of you know that, Charlie Sheen was infamous from back in the 90s. He watched the second guinea pig, not Devil's Experiment, but Flowers of Flesh and Blood. And when he watched it, he thought he watched a genuine snuff film and decided to get a hold of the FBI to look into the case. So it became a kind of a witch hunt for those filmmakers, and they had to prove in court that they did not murder this young girl and that it's all special effects, which if you watch it nowadays, you kind of laugh a little bit, because it's like, why is this even being thought of being real? Because the effects are very dated, for one. The sound effects are so like over exaggerated that it just doesn't sound like that when you're hacking into a body. I'm sorry. But it's very, very interesting. Flowers of Flesh and Blood is my favorite out of the guinea pig movies, which, not to jump too far ahead, Bill is in one of his shorts in this, and he's wearing a really sweet guinea pig movie t-shirt, which is really cool. But before I get on to that, I want to get back to the movie. Like I said, S'mores ran at 16 minutes. Kind of like I said, it reminded me of Devil's Experiment in ways, with the hanging of the baby. I really like it. I think it's cool. On to the second one, which is Patty's Mess, and it runs at about 11 minutes. It's basically, it starts out with this doll drinking a bottle of Corona, or at least has a bottle of Corona right there in front of her. I'm guessing a nod to the coronavirus before we started calling it COVID. So I am guessing that that's what that is. Um, Now this one's really interesting. I'm looking at my notes here. Eventually, the doll in this one, it's a little girl doll. They're all little girl dolls, I believe. But this one, she's got little pigtails, I believe, and gets uh, brutally dismembered by a pair of hedge trimmers. You know, the big scissors. It was really cool. The one thing I was worried to death that Bill was gonna slice his hand on the blade or something, because as he was stabbing the shears, they looked to have bent. So I was a little worried that he would hurt himself, but all in all, everything's all good. He still has all 10 digits, so there's no worries. And then there's this weird thing with leprechauns in it. I'm not quite 100% what that was all about, but it reminded me of a few years ago. I went a little goofy and started messing with people and saying Happy St. Patrick's Day in the middle of December. So it kind of reminded me of my goofiness and how silly I can be and how much fun this was. I really liked that one. Onto the third one, which is my absolute favorite. I had seen it before. It's on I believe it's the Slumber Party Gore Tales on that one, I believe. If it's not that, then it's Christmas Party or Christmas Gore Tales. Which, by the way, there is 3 credits at the beginning of this movie. First one, you get the grisly crimes of the Doll Man, which he makes appearances throughout in this one here. And then you have Slumber Party Gore Tales, and then of course Christmas Gore Tales. They do trailers for those 3. Just not to jump back on that, but it's an interesting one. Excuse me. And as far as I know, I think I remember in Patty's Mess, the Doll Man makes an appearance, and he also makes an appearance in I believe Guilt. It was either Guilt or Not Again, maybe even both of them. But the Doll Man, Curse of the Doll Man, is a interesting movie which I reviewed a couple of years ago now. I highly recommend giving it a shot if you like super low grade budget movies where they are working their ass off with no budget, no help is what it MBNH is the name of Bill's label. And it fits perfectly because you can tell that he doesn't get much help when it comes to filming. A lot of it he's doing solo. So I really commend him a lot for that. I have a lot of love and respect for Bill on that. He's also a very good editor as well. But back to the third story, which is called Not Karen Black, which is absolutely just a great story from beginning to end. He's chilling at his house and he gets a little rap at the door. Somebody knocks at the door, and next thing you know, he's got a little doll just chilling there on the doorstep. And so he takes the doll and he brings it in, unwraps it, blah, blah, blah. It's got a little butcher knife in its hand. It quickly, as he starts to, he puts it down and goes off to do his own thing, and it quickly starts to jump into the action, and the doll is running around trying to kill Bill. Yeah, Bill is trying to kill Bill Cate. Now this one runs at about 11 minutes. Like I said, it's my favorite out of all of them. I think it's really good. But what else? What do we got? Let's move on to the next one here. Oh, I forgot there was an epic fight in the bathtub with the possessed doll and the not Karen Black story. I forgot about that. That was pretty cool. But on to the next one, which is called Not Again. It runs at 8 minutes. It begins the story off with running some old footage on. I'm not sure what stock, what film stock it is. I'm guessing probably a Super 8 or maybe even High 8. One of those, probably Super 8. But you can tell it's some old footage that I'm pretty sure Bill shot when he was a kid, and then added it in here. It's just a beginning little piece to that story. That story is kind of funny. It he turns off after watching the video because he fell asleep. He wakes up, turns it off, and then next thing you know, he's got this huge belly, like he's pregnant, and it is absolutely hilarious. He's like, oh, I'm in so much pain, like stuff like that. And he goes to the bathroom, gets in the bathtub, and then proceeds to have a baby in the bathtub. After he's done with that, he decides he's going to dismember the baby and smash the shit out of it. I thought that was a wild scene all in its own. Granted, yes, these are done with baby dolls. This is not prosthetics or really expensive props. This is done on a Z grade, so keep that in mind that they are dolls. If you're a fan of Gore filth, you will be a fan of this. I'm a huge fan of Gore. I think he's a great guy. I miss him from the Facebook land and wish he would come back, but that's probably not going to happen. Either way, if you are familiar with Gore filth's film style, you'll get really into Bill Cates as well. Although Bill has done some superb, like artistic art, like films such as Spent or Kano Vision, which I highly recommend. And then also over on his MBNH page over there on Etsy, which I gave you a link for. He's got the Aggravation Network DVDs, which are all music that he's created all on his own. It's like noise and synth, and I believe it's mostly like noise music that you can really get into for that end. So definitely check out his MBNH Etsy. Now I'm going to move on to the last story, which was probably my least favorite, which is called Guilt, and it runs at 16 minutes. I'm not a political person, so when politics find their ways in my movies, I tend to get a little turned off. I understand where Bill's coming from with this. I'm 100% with him on this one, but it's just felt like it didn't belong compared to the other ones. It was the only one I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it as much as the others. It basically has stuff with Trump in there, and eventually the doll man appears, and he decides to hang out while our killer, I'm guessing played by Bill, kills another baby doll. Very cool on that aspect. I loved the editing in that story. The way he put it together is very, very nice. Now on to my 3 things that I love my movies to be. First, on the audio, it's fine for what it is. It works really, really well. there's no like weird things in there that don't make sense. Um, the only problem is the sound score is a little louder than the actual dialogue. There's only dialogue, I believe, in the Not Karen Black movie segment, where he takes a phone call. I believe that was that one, and it was really hard to hear what he was saying. I had to turn up the TV volume on that, and then turn it back down when the sound score came on, shot back out. But all in all, on that, I'm gonna give it A for the audio, B for the dialogue, only because there's not a lot of dialogue. There's just a very, very short amount in it. And then on to editing. Editing is where probably the greatest part of filmmaking is. In my eyes, if you can edit a good film together, you can do anything with film. And that's one thing that Bill is very, very good and accomplished at, is being an editor. Him and I have talked about it before, and he's told me how he just loves doing it, and when he gets really into it, he can just focus on it and have the patience of a saint to get through editing. But on the editing, I'm going to give that an A plus on here, because like I said, it's edited together very well, especially that last segment, guilt. That one, is the way it's edited is absolutely stunning in my eyes. So I'm going to give it an A plus there. Now on to my final score of 1 through 5. This is going to get a 4 out of 5. It's not my favorite from Bill. My favorite will always be Spent and Kano Vision. Those two are absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen Spent, do yourself a favor, jump on the Etsy page, grab a copy. I think it's like $10 or $15. I can't remember exactly what the price is, but it's really reasonable, and it's well worth your money. And then this is great. Safe Space Trilogy is amazing. Grisly Crimes of the Doll Man is a lot of fun. It's another one that was made during the COVID pandemic, or epidemic, or pandemic, or whatever it is. Sorry, my cat's deciding to come into the way here. There's her tail. But anyways, check out the stuff on there from Bill, and all the people he's gotten to work with him, such as White Gardenia, Gore Filth, Laurent Tissier, Tony Newton. The list just goes on and on and on and on. It's a veritable who's who in the underground independent cinema market. Now that I got all that done, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I've been on here for 18 minutes. I got things to do. I hope all of you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, peace.